Hey, Sandy, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Good, doing well. And Sandy, let me introduce you to Pam.
Hi, Pam.
Pam, this is Sandy.
Nice to meet you.
You
It is
too.
it is a pleasure to work with you. And we're really excited when we get to this phase in the program because we get to talk about Chris. No. And in all seriousness, it really is a really good place in the program to be because, like what I talked about last time, you know the ins and outs of everything, and
Right.
then we can roll up our sleeves, get to work with you, make some things happen, keep things moving, and then we bring him in as we're able to,
Okay.
and so this is really great. The work that Chris did up front was very important to define goals, define strategy, tell us his desires. Um, and he also connected with our CEO. So it's
Okay.
really good. It's really good for them to have connected. They knew each other from the past, but it's good for them to have connected because Tim, our president's, um, um, uh, his name is Tim. One of his roles is once a month or once a quarter, he picks up the phone and says, "Hey, Chris, how we doing?" You know, and so it's important for that connection to have happened at the executive level. And then the three of us, we just make things happen and we'll keep them updated.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sounds
it's kind
good.
of cool. It's kind of cool. All right. So, first thing we ought to do is swap contact information. So in case we need to call each other. Okay. So
Sure.
what's your cell phone number, Sandy?
Cell phone is 228-806-7813.
Okay. And your email is, well, we have that because we've been emailing each other. Okay. So mine is 225 505 2823.
Okay.
And Pam, can you give her yours?
And mine is 919-396-5223.
Okay.
And so one of the things I want to do is I want to put us on a text group. I don't expect that we'll use it a lot, but
Right.
when we do use it, we'll at least have it, and we're not going to be, searching for each other's stuff. We'll have it there. Okay. All right. So Sandy, let's do a time check. I think if you're central, what city are you in?
Gulfport.
Where?
Gulfport. I mean, Biloxi. I'm sorry.
Biloxi. Okay. All right.
Right.
So, gosh, I mean, I could swing 3 really bad golf swings and be there, you know? So we're that close. Okay.
I mean,
Right.
Yeah.
it takes
Not
me a
you
little bit
know,
longer.
Pam's up from low 40s degree of North Carolina. So
Oh,
Yeah.
goodness.
yeah.
It got cold here last night. We broke records at 34 degrees here and 31 degrees in Raleigh, Durham. I don't think it's just not, it's so unseasonal. We
My
have
goodness.
how to dress or how to act around here.
So so what do you say we shoot for us to be either finished or wrapping it up around 3:15 Central Time?
Okay.
And latest absolutely 3:30, and then we'll just within that time frame we'll make a ton of progress. Is that
Okay.
okay?
Just to let
So
you know, I
yeah,
may need to get the phone since
absolutely,
I'm the only
absolutely.
one that
That's
answers.
that's the life of a small law firm.
Okay.
So absolutely, okay.
Okay.
And if we can help you answer any emails, let us know. Okay.
Okay.
Uh, all right. So what we ought to do now is tell you a little bit about each other's roles so that you pretty much know when you contact Pam and when you contact Maurice. Okay.
Okay.
I'll start with mine and then I'll pass it over to Pam. Okay. My role is primarily on the side of office management. Okay. And office culture, office leadership, communication, everything having to do with the dynamics of the team. Okay. That's where I specialize. Now, be very transparent. Pam's probably better at that than I am. Okay. Uh, but since I'm not as good as what she does, I have my corner. Okay.
Right.
No, the thing is that Pam specializes, she knows a ton about that, but she specializes more in the operations as to what it means not on the lawyering side, but on the case management side,
Okay,
how to be efficient. What are the things that as case managers, paralegals,
mhm,
what are the techniques, strategies, and a lot of administrative, just extremely good tactics
right.
on how to be more efficient and how to maximize your time, your assistant, your attorneys. Am I describing it correct, Pam?
Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
More on, well, in addition to everything that he just said, and I hope I can live up to the hype
Height.
there.
Yeah.
You've got, I'm looking at your office right there and you're covered in paperwork. And so
right.
you pick up a piece of paper and you really should only have to pick up that piece of paper one time to do
One
something
time.
with it.
Okay,
Instead of reshuffling your stacks and moving things. So we'll go through your processes that you have as they are now and what
okay,
we want to get them to. And that's where I'll be focusing on with you.
okay,
Okay.
I've worked in hundreds of law firms as a trainer, as a consultant. So I've learned a lot about people and about work and about what is more efficient depending on the size of the firm and what you're trying to accomplish. And so I hope that I can bring a lot of that knowledge to the table for you to pick up and to learn as well.
okay,
And so our communication, what we ought to do is just copy each other. Okay. And we'll do that more in the upfront. And as we interact with you, we'll then figure out, for these kind of topics, just contact Pam. For these kind of topics, just contact me. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But to get started, just send it to both of us, because at the end of the day, we don't want you to worry about, am I talking to the right person? You just send this in emails and Pam and I will help you. Okay.
okay,
And between she and I, we'll figure out who needs to call you back and who needs to interact with you. Okay.
all right,
And it's our job to toss the ball to each other behind the scenes and behind the curtains. As long as you're helpful, it doesn't matter. Okay. She might be in a meeting and she'll say, Maurice, tell her this. And I'll tell you, and just assume whenever I tell you something, it's from Pam. And when Pam tells you it's from me, and we're both just, okay. So
okay,
we hope to not confuse you through that. Okay.
okay,
All right. So, okay. So then let's dive into the game plan. Okay. The game plan that you and I and Chris looked at last week is the game plan that Chris, Tim, and I had defined, and really it's broken down into three major components. One is our training of you on administrative leadership, office management. Okay.
okay,
And just remember that when we say that, we're not saying you're not already doing a great job. Okay. It's just, how can we show you how to get ahead for what's coming?
okay,
Because it's not whether you're able to really run a current ship. We know that. Okay. As a matter of fact, you probably have a whole lot you could even join our team and teach others. Okay. But it's how to take your boat and teach you the skills to make it a bigger boat and not have it wobble unnecessarily. It's always about creating that next scalability of growth.
okay,
Okay. So we define that the first major milestone would be to train you on those skills. Okay. And so we'll be asking you lots of questions about that. Okay.
okay,
However, we don't feel that that's what we should start. Okay. What we should start is in the second major milestone, and that is getting that client manager assistant for you in your office as soon as possible.
okay,
Okay. The sooner we can get that position filled, the faster everything will go. Okay.
right,
So, and then the third one is the attorney, but the attorney, the associate attorney is coming down the pipeline afterwards. Okay.
right,
So what we thought we would do today is spend time talking with you specifically about that position of the client manager. And let's dive into the details of that so that by the end of our meeting today, Pam and I can tell our recruiters to get started and they can get going, make progress in that. And that'll give us a couple weeks for us to start working with you on your training and your development. What do you
Okay.
think? Is that
Yeah,
fair
sounds
to
good.
say?
Sure.
All right, so good. All right, so I'm going to share that. I'm going to share my screen with you, and this is where you and I, if you recall, we started talking about this with Chris on the call, and we decided that we would continue here. What we need is for you to really just go anywhere, explain to us. I'll take notes. You and Pam, I'm going to foresee that Pam is probably going to drive this part of the conversation more with you because this
Okay.
falls really into her area. So the question really is this, okay? If these are the things that you should be doing right here, are these the things that this other person should be doing? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then, and there's no right or wrong answer. It's just, what is it, since you've been thinking about this for a while, what is it that you've been thinking about? Get definition. Pam will ask you 100 questions about this. And as you guys talk, I'm gonna build the job description so we can get this going and I can get my recruiters up and going Monday on this.
Okay.
Okay. So would it help a little bit if we spend some few minutes talking about your roles and seeing if this brief outline defines your role and where you want to focus your attention? Let's talk about that.
It does. And I have to answer this phone.
Go ahead.
Excuse me. Good afternoon, Van Cleveland. Yes, ma'am. It is. It's 228-456-0998. Correct. Okay, great. Well, thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Okay, so looking at your list of primary responsibilities, of course, your emails, do you emails, calendaring and scheduling, bookkeeping? Bookkeeping is a big one. And then case management. You guys do a lot, you guys practice bad faith. Is that what mostly what he does?
Bad faith, auto accidents, personal injury, mostly those.
So you do have new clients to call in. You do have intakes. And
Yes.
that's one of the responsibilities we want to give to this new client manager, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
So we said bad faith, personal injury, and what else?
Auto accidents, which would fall under personal injury, slip and falls.
Yeah,
Okay.
personal injury kind of takes the.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Keep going,
Do you
Pam.
do you go so far as to do workers' comp or social security?
He always, if it's something that sounds promising, he will talk to them and actually refer them out to attorneys that that we deal with a lot.
So he refers out workers' comp and social security.
Yes.
Okay.
Now we get all kinds of phone calls, with our web and internet. It lists a wide variety of what he handles, although it may not be specific to that. They still call, and a lot of them, we do not help, but we like to at least refer them to somebody if we can help.
Okay. Okay, so for your for our new client manager, when they're doing the intakes, answering the phones, they're going to be either referring the cases out. Now, are you, when we're going to look at this person to put in this position, it sounds to me like they're going to have quite a bit of time on the phone potentially, as far as talking with potential clients and also talking with current clients. Do your potential clients, do you talk with them, or do you have to get them with Chris as well? Did you go by Chris or Christopher?
Christopher,
Christopher.
right?
Can you make the decision for them to come in and meet with him, or how's that handoff?
Normally, I would do the intake and send him an email with as much detail as I can get. And then he calls them back. And,
Okay.
if it's something he would like to meet with them on, they will schedule an appointment or send documents through the mail or through the email.
So that's quite a few steps with intake that this person will be taking on. So they
Right.
need to be fairly organized.
Right.
I think we've already got that on there. Organization, customer service, exactly. That's what I would always look for, is somebody that's worked in customer service, who's dealt with clients on a regular basis. They would typically have the right kind of mindset, or the client's always right kind of thing. Let
Right.
me do what I can to help you. And okay, so we've got what other experience? Okay, so we're looking at intake. I saw something as far as medical records and their experience there. What are you thinking as far as experience for medical records that's outside of just organizing that?
I guess more of a system of following up. When you don't receive one within 30 days, make sure you follow up with it. Along those lines, you still follow up with the client. If there's additional records to order, they order them. We like to have them completely finished with their medical treatment. However, it doesn't happen that way a lot of times because we're always reordering. So
Okay.
that's one thing we need to,
So
kind of.
those are gonna fall under the processes and the steps and the procedures.
Right.
I'm not sure that we can, unless you find somebody that's worked in a law firm before with some experience in the medical records department, that would be great.
Right. Right.
When we are, let's see, you've got, what about skills as far as technical, typing, using copy machines, fax machines? They definitely need all the above.
Correct.
And I think you can, hopefully that won't be difficult to find. Office experience, yeah, that would be good.
I mean, those are all basically pretty easy to learn and, show them how to perform those tasks. It's not too much to it.
Certainly, but you'd be surprised.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised.
Okay.
As far as education, what do you what type of educational experience do you think they need? Do you need them to have?
I mean, I don't think they have to have any degrees or anything. I mean, I walked into this with no degree, high school education, and just worked my way up.
So high school education, diploma.
Yeah, if they worked in another office type lawyer, law field, that would be helpful.
That would be a plus, but that's not required, right?
No.
Okay.
So you can actually say.
Okay. Okay. So would you say that this up here, are you comfortable from last time you looked at it that this is what they would be doing? Intake, answering phone calls, medical records, following up with clients, copy scanning documents. And if internal marketing is one, I need to know a little bit more about what you mean by that. But do you feel that this reflects 80% of what you're going to have them do?
Yes, but once, once they get the files organized and, you know, there's a system in place, that's going to free up a lot of time because it's not, I mean, as you can see, I have loose papers. They're in a folder, but they're not organized.
Right.
I've got a table full of, you know, stacks of paperwork. Once that's all said and done, it's going to flow a little bit easier.
That's when you had said that at that point, they can move into learning how to do summarizing, settlement,
Right.
packages, filing documents,
Yeah.
scanning documents, right?
Right.
Okay, so then
And
I would,
that's not going to be an everyday thing anyway. It'll be, you know, just to get them comfortable enough. If he should need something and I'm not here, they would be
Right.
able to file a document, you know, pretty basic stuff, but it's just, I would like somebody that would like to learn more than what they're given.
Sure, sure. How much scanning do you do of your documents that come in the office?
Mainly just the mail. You know, we try to stay away from the paper process, but we do get mail still. Just whatever comes through there. You know, if people bring in documents for us for a client, all of their documents, then we scan those as well. Any new clients. And I need to put you on pause
Okay.
again.
yeah, no problem.
Good afternoon,
So-
Bankley Law.
So Pam,
How are you?
I think this looks like it could be a good breakdown like that. First
Okay,
90
hold
days-
on just a moment for me, okay?
First 90 days, they focus on those
Christopher.
items.
Wendy Chaffee is on the phone, want to know a status update. Okay. Miss Chaffee, let me, if you don't mind, get your number and I'll have him call you back with that. You know, we've written to him on the email and all, and it's just letting us know where they're at right now with the medical records. Again. So let me, okay. Okay, I'll leave that message for him. Thank you. Bye-bye. Okay.
Okay. Can you look on the screen, Sandy? What do you think of that game plan for them like that? First 90 days and then after 90 days?
Now, internal marketing, what are we considering for internal marketing?
Let's talk about that because right now that's the only one that to me seems vague and we need some definition on that.
Yeah.
All right. So who are you currently using and how are you currently handling your social media, or who does your marketing for you?
That would probably be a Christopher answer.
Okay.
He deals with so many
he-
different ones, I'm not sure.
So he handles that.
Right, he has the, he sets up all the meetings with them and phone calls and things of
Okay.
that nature.
So if I recall correctly, there was a conversation that yes, he does that with your vendor, and then a lot of tasks are assigned to him. And so a good half of those tasks he thinks could be handled by somebody else other than him, which is where we said, well, it shouldn't be Sandy, it should be somebody else.
Yeah, and I'm not sure what he's meaning by that.
So for example, building a campaign around contacting previous clients
Okay,
and
Right.
sending an email to them. Right there,
okay,
I just described easily a 4-hour job.
correct.
Okay,
Yes.
do you want to end up doing that?
No.
Do we want Christopher ending up doing that?
No.
So
No.
therefore, this person needs to be at least savvy enough with computers a little bit that we can
Right.
pass those tasks, because then we need to say, okay, now we need to show you how to do social media posts. Then we
Right.
need,
Okay.
then we need to teach you how to go create and update the LinkedIn account. Then we also need to and right there, if we don't hire the right person, we'll
Mhm.
lose it in 6 weeks, because there's like, I didn't sign up for marketing. Well,
Right.
you didn't hire correctly. And so that's what internal marketing is administrative, very, very clerical, administrative assistant type of things, but nonetheless very important that they don't land on your plate and that they don't land on
Right.
Christopher.
And I do not do that. So, I
That's
mean, I
exactly
wouldn't
right.
even know
But
where to begin.
somebody does need to do that, right? And so we have to make it to where this person is the one that does it. They may
Right.
not be the one that end up quarterbacking. They could very well be just a resource for your marketing, for your marketing vendors.
Right.
Some of those tasks they're not going to want to do because they're not getting
Right.
paid for that. So it's going to come back in your way.
Right.
So that's what that means. You know,
Okay.
for example, how to ordering plans for clients that are sick, sending stuff to the hospital, sending cards, birthdays, sending holiday greetings, all that stuff that talks about the client experience.
Okay.
I think, Pam, I think we should put that. See, I think we should put internal marketing, client experience.
Yeah.
Okay. When they come and visit your office, for example, let's say you have a client that you guys know loves Diet Coke. Okay. And then, well, sure enough, you don't offer water, you offer Coke. Who gets that? It's this person. You see what I'm saying? So it's
Right.
a lot of the little things that just make the ride a lot better. This person would be in charge of.
Okay.
That's why they have to be very customer service oriented, and they
Right.
have to have a Disney concept. Okay.
And, and hopefully along those lines, if they could set up, I know Excel, you could do a lot with Excel and program and put in your client name, their address, phone number, email address, and kind of have a running list of everybody that you have. We would need help setting something up for them to do, unless they already know how to set something like that up.
So they would need to be efficient in Microsoft Word, Excel.
In this office. Yeah.
And Excel.
Yeah. Word, Excel, Outlook.
Excellent verbal and written communication skills.
Yeah.
Or at least know how to use spell check.
Yeah.
Right.
Let's just put good written.
Okay.
They know how to. Okay, that's great. Okay, so that's what that means. All right, so I'm
Okay.
comfortable. Pam, you, Sandy, anything else we need to dissect? Because I'm very comfortable that our recruiters can then take this, build a job description, put an ad out, and go from there.
Can we put that? I mean, I hate to tell them in 90 days they need to start learning more duties. Can we put it 90 to 120 days or something, that they don't feel pressured?
Yeah, you know what? You're referring to this right here?
Yes.
Yeah, well, we can do.
For us, isn't it? Or for her?
This is primarily for us.
Okay.
Yeah. So that when we're interview them, what we'll do is that right there. That's what that will look like.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, we can even take this off like that. Because a lot of them, they'll look at this right here and they'll go, ooh, y'all gonna have to teach us. And our answer is yes. How coachable are you?
Right.
Right.
And I think the summarizing and settlement packages, just so if they're not comfortable with the last two, but those last, because the others are relatively easy, and we can work with the summarizing settlement packages along the line.
Like that, make it like that?
Yes,
What do you mean? Define summarizing. Are you talking about summarizing medical records or treatment or just,
the medical records. What
Okay.
we do when we have a personal injury matter, and before we file suit, we always try to settle. So we order the records, we summarize the medical, and we outline it in a settlement package.
Okay.
So instead of just throwing the records at the adjuster, we actually summarize it for him. Now, I'm not very good at summarizing. I pretty much do word for word, but just in a smaller context than the records. So, you know, if they know how to summarize, that's even better. If not, what I do, I mean, he's fine with what I do, word for word.
this is in sending
Just
a
shorten it.
demand to the insurance company?
Correct.
Well, down the road, we can come up with some good templates.
Yeah, that's what I was
use.
hoping y'all could do.
Oh, yeah. I mean, a lot of what we will do is templates, and forms and standards that we'll either show you or we'll pull it out of your head because it's in there.
Okay.
somewhere. All right. So let's talk a little bit about benefits. Do you have do you guys offer any kind of benefits, or do you have these written down that you can send to us?
The only benefit that we have right now, I mean, he does pay for my insurance.
Okay.
You know, and that's, of course, I don't know what the benefit's going to be for future employees.
Okay.
He does provide bonuses, you know, ever so often. If he hits good, then you hit good, you know.
Like that? Performance bonuses and
I wouldn't say performance. It's just if he gets a good settlement, and you know, it's not a give me.
no, so it's firm performance. It's discretionary.
Okay.
Discretionary performance. Okay. How many years have you been in operation?
As Van Cleve Law since 2017, but he's been in since 1998. So overall, I don't know which one you're looking for.
No, this is good. This is good. All right. You have regular hours, 8 to 5?
8:30 to 5.
Okay. And your website, what I was planning on doing was going to your website with the recruiters, and we'll get language from there to kind of talk a little bit about your culture and about who you guys are. Is that an okay place to go?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And when it comes to issues regarding, like, I mean, this will be the first time you guys have team members past yourself, meaning a third person. Okay.
Right.
You do the bookkeeping, you'll know how much they get paid. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
as a matter of fact, that was a comical conversation where whenever the three of us talked about it, when we said, well, is it okay for Sandy to see the salary range? And Christopher said, well, she's a bookkeeper. She's going to see her money. You know, and so it's like, okay, so yeah, what I'll need is whenever we start recruiting, we don't tell them what the range is.
Okay.
We ask them what their range is, but we have to have a range to make sure to be realistic. Okay.
Right.
If we can find somebody great at 38 and only have to pay him 30, wonderful. Okay.
Right.
But just if you would make sure you and Christopher talk about that this is the range that he had talked about.
Mm-hmm.
This is the range that we're going to recruit to. But if this is not the range that y'all agree, let us know ASAP.
Okay.
Okay.
And
Because
he may, you know, I'll have to see what he thinks, but that amount may depend on their experience and education.
Absolutely.
So,
absolutely, without a doubt.
right.
Without a doubt. So if
Right.
we find somebody that's asking 39, for example, we'll entertain them, because that means they got to really be walking on water.
Right.
Yeah.
If they're
Okay.
if they're wanting 42, they better be creating water. Okay.
Right.
You see
Right.
what I'm saying? But
Right.
once they get past 40, we're not going to entertain them. That's why the salary range gives us gives us something to look at so we're not wasting time.
Right.
Okay. And so
Okay.
I just got to make sure if you and Christopher talk over the next week or so, because what we don't want to do, which regularly happens, let's say we find somebody at 36 or 37, really, really good, okay?
Mhm.
And we bring him, we introduce him to you, you want them, but then you know what, you don't want to hire them because you were really wanting to bring them at 32 and then we lose them because because that's not what they wanted. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So let's just make sure that if we find them within that range, as long as their experience and their professionalism is commensurate to the salary, if we stay within those ranges, we'll know what to shoot for. Okay.
Okay. So I
If
guess
you
I
want-
need to check with him to see what type of education he would like, high school or a little bit more.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Okay.
And look, you just ask him, hey, Maurice and Pam are working from a range of anywhere from 30 to 38. You want to go to 38 or 36? You know what? Tell them to stay on to 36. Great. That's the kind of direction we need.
Okay.
You know, it could always say, high school education required, but advanced education preferred.
Okay.
What did you say? Advanced? What was-
Advanced education preferred.
You know, and I'm looking at this, like back in my day when I just got out of high school, there was no way I was going to get 30, 38. I know the times have changed and all that, but
Yeah.
you know, to me, that's an awesome.
It is. So what I'm hearing you say is we should let's try stay closer to 30.
Well, no, go by what he said.
Okay.
I mean, I'm just, yeah, like I said,
Just see
Well-
what the type of applicants you guys, I
Yep,
mean, that.
yep.
Right.
Yep. Okay.
right.
That'll be good. All right. I have plenty to work. I have plenty to work from here for our recruiters. Let's spend a few minutes. It's 3:15, so let's spend a few minutes talking about other areas. Is that okay?
Sure.
Okay. Let's talk about more between us. Okay.
Mhm.
Is what I think we need to do is get into a cycle, a rhythm, a routine where we pretty much know every week, except for rare exceptions. Okay. We know that we're going to meet at the same time every time and we make it into a pattern. Okay.
Okay.
We've often, the last 2 weeks, we've met on Fridays. I'm usually not my best on Fridays, but you know, we can make that happen. What does a Tuesday or a Wednesday look for you? And then what we try to do is just get into that rhythm.
Well,
Is there a
first
day
off,
that's bad?
I'm sorry.
I said, is there a day that's better for you than another day? Maybe
Right.
you do all your disbursements on Thursdays and you'd rather not. Okay,
It's hard to say, you know, I mean, if we have something come up for a deposition and I cannot possibly attend that, then, you know, it's hard to say because your schedule changes so much. It's not a scheduled time I can actually say.
Right.
But I
right.
mean, I can give a date and if it gets pushed to another time, that's fine.
Yeah, and it's very normal that the first several weeks we just kind of figure it out on a week-to-week basis.
Right. Right.
Until the three of us get into a rhythm. So just be
Okay.
thinking along that we want to eventually land somewhere.
Okay.
Um,
So, I mean, we could do, you know, not a Monday, not a Friday, any other day, maybe
Okay.
9:00. That'll be kind of early in the morning where I can, you know, nothing will interrupt with the deposition or anything like that.
Got it. All right. So let's look at the 9 o'clock slot, Pam. You and I can figure that out. And then as a second option, is it reasonable for you to put us towards the end of the day so you pretty much get everything
Sure.
out and you know that, hey, last thing in the day, I'm going to meet with Maurice and Pam. Does
Sure.
that kind of also help?
Yeah, 3:30 would be good.
Okay, so Pam, let's write that down and we'll get back with you. And for that, we'll get back with you earlier next week so we can at least take advantage of either Tuesday or Wednesday for next week.
Okay.
Okay, and based on what we covered today and a little of just getting to know you for 40 minutes or so, Pam and I will dissect what we recommend the next steps ought to be. Okay, of
Okay.
what it takes to train you. Okay, and where we should start helping you out. But let me ask you. Okay, you know we were going to do this. You knew we were going to start this program. Where are your thoughts? Where would you say, guys, you spent time with Christopher and you got a lot of what his desires are. Here's what I've been thinking. Here's what I would like to see happen. I really would appreciate if you guys could help me in and then just talk and let Pam and I hear you so we can better know how to serve you and how to help you. What can you spend just a few minutes on that?
Sure. And one thing I can tell you, I am nervous or have some concerns. I'm not an office manager. I'm not a person that is very assertive. And to tell somebody, you need to do this, this, and this. So that's going to take some getting used to.
Sure.
How to hold a meeting, I have not a clue.
Okay.
I mean, wouldn't know where to begin.
Okay. All right. Good.
So that's really my main concern.
Okay. So the whole office management and how to be that supervisory person, right?
Right.
Okay.
I've never done it, and
Okay.
never had to. I mean, me and Christopher has been on our own since 2017. So
Yeah.
Let me
it's just the
give
two
you-
of us.
Just let me give you some words of encouragement.
Okay.
I started out as a case manager in a law firm,
Mhm.
and I've worn every hat there is to wear in a law firm. I started out as a case manager, ended up then as a paralegal, because in North Carolina, you have to be certified. You have to go through classes to be a
Mhm.
certified paralegal, and then an office manager, and then the firm manager, managing 5 offices and all the accounting and all the training. So I started that many years ago. I would have never dreamed of standing up in front of a group of people and talking.
Right.
It comes a little bit with the experience, but also you want to feel comfortable asking questions. You need to ask us questions.
Right.
Anytime you're in that spot where I don't get this, I'm not feeling this, I don't think I can get it. We need to know that. That's how we can
Right.
help you.
Don't hesitate. Like I said
Yeah.
earlier, it doesn't matter who you need to call, just call
Mhm.
us. It doesn't matter
Just
who you
let
need
us
to
know.
email, just email us. That's what we're here for.
Well, let me ask you this. Why is, with somebody never doing meetings before? Now, back when I first started, they tried to do a meeting, it never worked out.
Sure.
And we never had a set time. What is the purpose for a weekly meeting as opposed to a monthly, or, you tell me. If it's good to have it weekly or what.
Here's what we did with our weekly meetings, and it can
Mhm.
change based on what your needs are, but think about it like this. Say on a Wednesday morning, the 3 or the 4, the 3 of you guys get together, you talk about anything that you're stuck on. We used to talk about, each one of us took maybe 5 minutes, gave a description of something great that's happened with a case, or something great that happened at work, something that we're stuck on.
Mhm.
And then at the end, we talked about the progress the firm has made this week. How many settlements we've had, which cases we're working on, and just everybody have a chance to come to the table and say, look, we've made progress this week, but we've got a couple of these milestones we've got to meet. And Sandy, we will help you with an agenda. You should
Mhm.
always, I think you should always have an agenda when you go to a meeting, because then it will, it keeps things flowing smoothly. You can bring everybody back to that agenda so that your meetings don't get very long, but just a chance to bring it out together, because everybody could have a different opinion or a different answer, resolution for whatever's going on. So
Right.
can certainly get you into these, a rhythm into these meetings, and that's
But
what's gonna,
when it
Yeah.
comes to, the 2 new ones that we're bringing in, the associate and all that, would that not be Christopher handling that meeting with it?
I think it's important for, yes, it's going to be important for Christopher to meet with that attorney on cases, but
Mhm.
as a team, I think it's important for you guys to also meet together. That doesn't have to
Okay.
be 45 minutes or 30 minutes. It
Right.
doesn't have to be that long.
Right.
You had something to say? And you're muted.
Yeah,
Can you hear me?
There
now
we
I
go.
can.
There you go. Okay, good. All right. So, yeah. So, the, um, think of it this way, meetings are supposed to do two major things. And they're supposed to connect to each other
Hmm.
and they're supposed to solve problems. Problems that have been sitting there and problems that are coming up. So there's got to be an anticipating thing, okay? And that's where things really get in a quagmire because of this, because of the different personalities, okay?
Right.
What to you, you feel things are fine, to somebody else, they feel there's a problem.
Hmm.
And they haven't been able to sit down with anybody for 3 weeks to talk about it. So where does that problem go? It goes in the frustrating bucket.
Right.
Okay, and it doesn't take 6 weeks before somebody is in a new office to now where that bucket fills up and they don't feel they can sit down with somebody and talk about what's bothering them or what they don't like or the tools they don't have or the expectations they don't have. And so what normally happens with human beings is, I'm going to give you a bad case scenario, but it happens all the time. Okay,
Mhm.
you think Christopher's talking to the attorney's walking around saying, yeah, everything's fine. That associate attorney hasn't really brought up the things that are bothering them. So they're not bringing it up to Christopher. You think they're talking to him. Your assistant is likewise maybe not happy with some things. 4 weeks go later and Christopher feels like, is everybody okay around here? You know what I'm saying? And you're saying, no, everyone's fine. But things are just the dust is beginning to settle. And yet
Right.
there's not a weekly, bi-weekly, once a month cycle that allows those short accounts for those things to get taken care of.
Right.
So what we do is we help you figure out what meetings should happen weekly, what meetings should happen bi-weekly, and what meetings should happen monthly. Okay. And just from the start, getting you and Christopher to talk on a weekly basis is going to be a major milestone. Okay.
Right.
However, we know you and Christopher talk about all things all the time, right?
Hmm.
But in order to grow the firm, it needs to start taking a little bit more of an organized approach so you can tackle things more in a proactive way rather than reacting. So for
Okay.
example, some things in Christopher's head, I'll use marketing. Some things in Christopher's head, and he goes, yeah, I want to do this, this, and that. Where is he going to put that? He's probably going to put that in his head somewhere, and he's not going to bring it up, right?
Right.
He may mention it to you in passing, hoping you caught it, but you just heard, but it wasn't an official meeting. It was just a hallway conversation, right? And
Right.
so 4 weeks later, he's going to come at you and say, so where are we with, and he drops you, go, what? What about that? Well, I thought we said, we didn't say that. No, you told me that. And so they're right there. Okay. When I presented that scenario to Christopher, he said,
Hmm.
man, that happens a lot.
Right.
It happens a lot because she didn't catch it or because you didn't throw it.
Right.
And he said, so I think I'm throwing it. I said, that's right. You think you're throwing it, but she wasn't catching because she wasn't at the stadium where she was supposed to catch it. She just happened to be driving by the stadium because it was a hallway conversation.
Right.
And he's like, okay. So you're not saying that you're just creating these meetings just to meet. No, it's to talk about the business at hand and say, all right, what are the things we're trying to accomplish in the next 6 weeks? Let's write them down. Let's organize them. Let's assign tasks. We'll see each other next week. In the meantime, we talk 50 times a day. And
Okay.
then you huddle up again. You say, okay, where are we? It's that sit down huddle, kind of like what we just did today.
Right. And what
It's the ability to let that flesh out. But go ahead. What were you going to say?
I was going to say, I mean, what I was thinking, with me, with the new person coming in for me, then of course I can set up schedule meeting once a week,
Right.
once every 2 weeks, whichever works best for us.
Right.
But with the associate and Christopher, then I think he needs to take that
Oh,
lead.
Without a doubt.
That's-
Without
Yeah.
a doubt. See,
Okay.
you're thinking organizationally, which I love. Don't you tell me you're not good at office management. Yeah. Okay. Because whenever by the time they come on board, you
Right.
need to make sure that they're meeting once a week.
Right.
Because if they don't meet once a week, where is that going to backwash? Who's that going to backwash to? It's going to be a backwash to you,
Yeah,
Right.
because that associate attorney is going to grab you and go, I just can't get, I'm not getting what I need. Why not? Well, I mean, I've been trying to meet with him for 3 weeks and he's not meeting with me. And you're saying, what do you mean he's not meeting with you? You know, and then you go to Christopher and Christopher says, well, I'm just really busy. I haven't been able to. No, you know what it is they're beginning to realize they're not connecting.
Right.
And so if Christopher's not meeting with him and this other associate is not making, you see what I'm saying? So
Right.
it's gonna get away from Christopher. And if you aren't helping them make sure they meet,
Hmm.
you know what I'm saying, then it's gonna backwash. So
Okay.
you're thinking the right way. You're not supposed to be meeting with them as much. You're just gonna need to make sure that they're meeting
Okay.
and
Gotcha.
that they're solving their problems. In the meantime, you're
Mhm.
gonna have your hands full with your person because y'all gonna meet
Okay.
a lot. Okay.
Right.
And so you make sure they're meeting, you make sure you and your person are meeting, you and Christopher are meeting regularly, and once a
Mhm.
month, you bring everybody together.
Okay.
I meet with my person, you meet with your person, I meet with Christopher, we meet every
Mhm.
2 weeks.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? And that
Yeah.
routine has to be handled and organized by somebody. It's
Gotcha.
not just gonna
Okay.
happen. It's not just gonna happen.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So you're the one that makes sure that's happening. And once a week, once every 2 weeks, you're walking around going, how you doing? You doing good right here? Christopher, you good? You're good? You're good? All right, everybody's talking? Okay, everybody get back to work. Yeah, and you just become that, what would you call it? That mother hen that basically makes sure everybody's getting along.
So basically just put it on the calendar and say, let's do this. You know,
It
So-
really is. And having
Okay.
that, and then having that level of no nonsense about it,
right.
where Pam and I spend an enormous amount of time with clients trying to get them to be that no nonsense about it. Just put it on the schedule, make sure everyone agrees to that schedule. and
Right.
Unless the exception dictates that you miss your meeting,
Hmm.
have your meeting, and I'll show you, and Pam will show you how to have everybody's agendas, and you can look at agendas and make sure everyone's moving the meetings and solving problems.
Okay.
You got it. You got it. You got the concept. It's just giving you the confidence to know that, look, somebody's got to do this. And I'm sorry, Sandy, you're the only one in the room.
Well, yeah, I don't express myself very well. So,
Well, for not being able to express yourself very well, you've done it very well in the last hour. So I appreciate
Yeah.
that. No, great job. So this is what an hour looks like. Do you feel like we accomplished a lot?
oh, yeah. Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, our job is to get back with you. So we'll do so Monday, so we can try to plan something for Tuesday and Wednesday. All right.
Okay.
And we'll see how that goes, and then we'll get into a rhythm with you.
And I'm real interested in your templates and forms and, you know, medical records, client intakes. If you have anything like that,
We surely will. As a
love to
matter of
see 'em.
fact, ready, start off and just shoot Pam and I a mail. It says, guys, I would love templates in these 3 areas. Tell us what your
Okay.
favorite 3 areas are. In the
Okay.
meantime, Pam and I will get together and we'll figure out what those are as well.
awesome.
Also, one last thing, we're going to invite you into a shared document folder. What that
Okay.
means simply means you're going to click on a link and you're going to get access to a folder.
Mhm.
Okay. And that folder is where we're going to keep documents with you. And that's going to be your repository of tools. So
Okay.
when we tell you, hey, we added something to your folder, you know exactly where to go.
Okay, great.
Great. Thank you, Sandy.
All right. Y'all have a
great
good weekend.
See you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.